Alright, how about a little update on Project Oldsmolac? We'll get to that in just a second, but first, I want to give you guys a snapshot view of what I've been up to in my late evening, quote unquote, free time the last couple weeks. And an answer to the question when people say, why does it take so long to do this? Is it done yet? Blah, blah, blah. So this is some of the wiring stuff I've had to deal with for this truck. The different complications of merging everything together. So we had some factory pinouts for 4 different pinouts for the body, the original body, because we used some connections from the original body harness. And then we have 2 different pinout, or I'm calling these pinouts, but they're not, but wire position lists, whatever you want to call these. 2 different ones for the LS harness for the PCM. Then that took care of the PCM connector I was using and the body harness positions I was using. I decided at the time I did this, I wanted to put a new engine harness in this truck, and obviously they don't sell a fuel injected 455 Olds engine harness. So I had a PSI conversion harness for an LS3. So I had their instructions for that engine side harness, as well as the LS3 factory pinouts to use to get that part figured out. And that harness also came with a fuse box, which I deleted. And actually moved the fused circuits and relayed circuits to the factory fuse box of the truck, which I'll get to in a second. So you combine that with 12 hand-drawn pinouts for the Deutsch connectors that I put on there. If you don't know what a Deutsch connector is, that's a Deutsch connector, okay? So 12 of these pinouts and about a couple hundred of these pins for those connectors that I put in. Not only just put these pins on, also deleted a bunch of wires out of all of these harnesses, as well as added some things and mapped everything out. So when you ask, man, why does it take so long? This is why it takes so long. Now we combine that with, forgive my chicken scratch drawings, but this is the factory fuse box. I went to the junkyard, pulled another fuse box to get all the buses and everything out of to install into the factory box. We deleted this Chinese crap fuse box from the LS harness and decided to go with what was in the truck. So I had that time into it too. So you may ask, well, why did you make so many connections? Well, combining a bunch of crap together, and I wanted to be able to break out each harness. So what we end up with is, this is my control module. I have body connections that are separated, transmission connection, my engine connections, power and grounds, different things that are broke out in the different areas of the harness. So if I have issues with this later, because I won't even say if, I might say when, because we married so much different crap together, I can actually break this harness out into sections and do my diagnostics that way. It's a little bit easier. So on the truck side, got factory fuse box, factory location. It's not bolted in yet, but so we added these 2 whole rows of circuits and 2 relays to run those circuits. That'll run all of our swap stuff and then some. Actually, I think we have 1 or 2 fuses we're not using. This is a power tap to go to our, I think, injectors and O2 sensors or something like that. These are all of our engine harness connections here. Body harness. transmission harness, which we're not fully done yet with that, etc., etc. So I still have to delete these wires out, these were the feed wires going to that LS fuse box. We're going to use this factory tap from the battery to our stock fuse box. So, and then we've got some sorting to do down here. It actually looks like it's a mess. I need to get the truck up in the air, get down there to sort out some wires, but basically where I wanted to run the harness, the header's in the way, and I'm going to move one of the tubes on this side to get it out of the way. But I already had that in mind when I put the harness back in the truck. So, but yeah, deleting these guys, fix that harness down there, sort some transmission wiring and some grounds and stuff. It's getting there. I'm going to go ahead and slap this computer and stuff in this truck and show you what it looks like all plugged in. Alright. So, you can see all my plugs back there. Now I'll be wrapping all this harness and we'll be tacking some things in. It'll look a lot better than it does right now. But there you go, you know. And if I have a problem with one part of my system here, I can go to the connector. The permanent marker bullshit will be gone. We'll get some labels made for these connectors. But for the time being, it was easiest for me to just write on them, get it done, get it wired. You know, as far as engine controls, this thing's about ready to run. I gotta finish some grounds. I gotta do a start circuit, a charge circuit. It's just little odds and ends. I gotta wire the intake air temp sensor. Just little BS. Like I said, battery. You know, but we're getting there. So, but just remember, when you start wanting to be a Judgy McJudgerson, and why does it take you so long to get something done? Almost 200 connections, 12 hand-drawn pinouts, reconfigured fuse box, 4 different factory wire diagrams, an aftermarket diagram, a whole bunch of other crap. This stuff takes time, man. See y'all soon.